Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forex Genesis channel. For this video, I'm going to be showing you how to operate MT4 using some of the basic features that every trader should know. So here, as you can see, I have my MT4 platform open. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the market watch. The market watch basically displays the symbols and the prices for the pairs. You can see there's a bid price and there's an ask price. So if you hover over this and do the right click on this, you can see you have some different options here. So the first thing that I'm going to point out is the spread. You can choose to view the spread if you click on that, which will show here in the explanation point, underneath the explanation point. This will show you the difference between the bid and the ask price. And if you also right click and look at some of these other features, you see that you have new orders. So if you want to place a trade, that is an option for you to place a trade with. And there's multiple ways that you can place a trade on MT4. The chart window, which will be very helpful when you want to look at the chart. The tick chart is basically a small window that will open up that will display the current trading price and the activity that has been going on in the past. The depth of the market, that actually does not work. I don't know if there's brokers that will allow you to see the depth of the market, but that will be really helpful if you could see the depth of the market. I don't know if there are brokers that offer that on the MT4 platform. And let's see. So there, in the next section, you will see that you have some more options. Show all is basically going to display all of the pairs that your broker offers. And for Traders Way, they do offer not just currencies, but they offer the natural gas and gold and silver pairs, and now they also offer cryptocurrency pairs, which is pretty interesting for anybody who wants to trade cryptocurrency. And so for the next part of this, I'm going to be going over the navigator. The navigator, it will show your account that you have. You can't have more than one account on your MT4. You can only be signed on to one account at a time though. So just keep that in mind. For the indicators, it will list all of the indicators. I think these are sections of indicators, and down here it'll list all of the indicators that are available. One of the more popular indicators are custom moving averages, the RSI, and stochastic, as well as, the MACD Gen, or the MACD. Those are the more popular indicators that a lot of traders tend to use. Expert advisors and scripts are more for more advanced traders. Expert advisors are basically robots or tools that you can use for your trading. And that is basically the navigator. For the bottom part of this, that is called the terminal. The only two tabs that you'll need out of all of these tabs are the trade tab and the account history. Those are the only two trades that you'll need. The mailbox, market, all of this other stuff that's on here, you won't really use those. You'll just mainly use the trade and the account history. So basically, when you have a open trade, it'll display here, and it'll give you the time, the type of trade it is, whether it's a buy or sell, or short or long. If you have your stop loss and your take profit set, they will display underneath here. The current price that it's trading at in commission and swap. And then your profit or loss will be displayed here. I don't have any trades open now, so that's why there's nothing here. But it will display your balance and your equity. And then for your account history, this basically shows your trading history. And what I like about this is you can right click on the history, and if you want to view a certain time frame or a certain time period, you can look that up by either period. You can type in, you can select today and press the OK button, and then it's going to display all of the trades that you have taken for that day. And the last 3 months, it will display that. You can also do a custom period. So I'm going to just type in, 06, 05. And this account that I have open right now, this is actually closed, so that's why it's not really giving that much data. But for that time frame that I just put in, as you can see, there was a $17.62 profit on that during those 2 days. So it's just displaying the 2 days that I typed in. And actually here it is, profit and loss right here, 1762, credit, deposit, and withdrawal. All of that information will be displayed at the bottom. So for your charts, so let's say if you want to go ahead and open up a chart, you can hover over a symbol and you can do a right click and click on chart window. Another way to open up a chart is just to click and hold from your left clicker, and you can drag it over, and actually let me close this first because you couldn't see it, but you can click and drag a symbol over and it'll open up the chart. Now what you'll want to do when you're first using MT4 for the first time, you want to go ahead and get your charts set up the way you want to, because when you first download it, it's going to look kind of weird. This is the way I have my chart set up. Basically how you change your chart is you have to left click on the chart, and then you go all the way down to the bottom where it says properties. So I'm going to start with the colors tab. The color tab will let you choose the color scheme. So this is the yellow on black, green on black, and black on white. So I'm just going to go ahead and just click on green on black. And you can customize your colors over here. So for your bar up, it will change. Let's say if I wanted to change the bar up to purple, it will actually display what it would look like over here on the left side in the picture. And bar down, if I wanted to change that to yellow, that would be changed to yellow. For the bull candle, that is any candlestick that has made a positive change, meaning that the close price is higher than the open price. So let's say if I wanted to change that to green, and I'm just going to pick any shade of green, and I wanted to do the bear candles, which is the opposite of a bull candle, I'm going to change that to red. And usually what I try to do is I try to match the colors from the bar up. The bar up, I usually either do blue or green. So I usually try to match the bar up with the bull candle, and I usually try to match the bar down with the bear candle, which is how I have this already currently set up. So I'm just going to go ahead and change these to, let's say, blue bars for my bull candles. And I'm going to change my bull candles to a shade of purple. Let's see. Oh, that's not the same color. And I usually try to make sure that they're the same color, so that way you won't have too many colors on your chart. Did I mess up? Let's see, blue. So this is supposed to be blue. Bar down is supposed to be purple. Okay, so here we go. And let's say if I wanted to make my background white. So that is what my chart would look like. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the comment tab. I suggest using shift or chart shift, so that way that you can keep up with the price action at the current time, unless you're trying to go back and do your analysis in the past time. Then you can go ahead and uncheck that, and there's multiple ways that you can have that set as well, which I'll go ahead and show you. If you want to have a bar chart instead of a candlestick, or if you want to have the line chart instead of the bar stick, then you have those options here. Most traders tend to use the candlestick, so we're just gonna stick to that. And then here it will ask if you want to have the show OHLC, which means open, high, low, and close price. I usually keep that checked. I usually keep the ask line checked, the show ask line checked. Period separators, I usually have that checked. And grid, I normally don't use the grid, so I don't have that checked, but for the sake of this video, I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and click OK, and now you can see what my chart looks like. So now over here, you can see that you can't see the price, so you have to go back and edit that. So I'm gonna go back to properties, go back to colors, and I think it is the foreground. Yeah, so change the foreground. That will actually display the price on the right and the time frame, or the time of those candlesticks on the bottom. So now I can see all of that information. Okay, so now that you have your settings the way you want to, you will want to save this so that each time you open up a new chart, it will actually open up underneath the color scheme that you want to have it opened under. Because right now, all of my default settings are set to this black chart. So in order to set your default settings to have it open underneath these color schemes, what you'll have to do is right click, go down to where it says template, and you will want to save template. And the name that you want to save it under is going to be default. So type in default and click save. Now that you have that saved, each time you open up a new chart, it's going to open up underneath that color scheme. I'm going to click out of that and show you. Each time you open up a new chart, it's going to open up underneath that color scheme that you put together in the property settings. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to use some of these other buttons up at the top. As you can see, a lot of them are not available right now. That is because I don't have a chart open right now. So once you have a chart open, all of these features will be available. So if you prefer to use bars, you can click on that and it will change your chart into the bars. If you want to use a line graph, it'll change that into a line graph. So I'm going to go ahead and click back to candles. To zoom in and out, you can use these two buttons, and that is basically zooming in and out. This button is the auto scroll button, and that is basically to keep up with your pair. If you want to place a trade and you want to see where the current price is on the chart, you can click on auto scroll and it will just continue to automatically scroll. So if I just go ahead and scroll, it'll automatically scroll back to the current candlestick. This button is the shift in. So that's basically if you want to have some room in front of where the current candlestick is open at, then you can use that feature. This is the periods, which will allow you to change the time period of your chart. So if you want to look at 1 minute candlesticks, you can do that. 15-minute candlesticks, you can do that as well. Those periods are also here, which are a lot more easier for you to just click on these. 1 week, 1 day, 4 hour, etc. And let's say if you have multiple charts that you want to have open and you want to look at them all at the same time. So I'm just going to go ahead and click some random ones up here. What you can do is click the button next to the minus magnified, and you can click that button and all of your charts will be organized all together, and you can now see all of the price action on all charts. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and click out of some of these extra windows on the side. If you do close those windows out, you can always reopen those by visiting some of the buttons up here. That is the market watch. This one is the navigator. This one is the terminal. The data window, you won't really need that, and later on I'll show you how the strategy tester works. That is when you have a expert advisor or indicator that you want to test out, then you can use that feature. That's a little bit more advanced, so I'll explain that in another video. This is just for basic getting started techniques. So I'm going to exit out of some of these charts, and I'm just going to focus on one chart for now. I'm going to expand this one. So let's say if I wanted to draw trend lines. So let me go ahead and take off the auto scroll, because if I don't take it off, it's going to auto scroll each time the price changes. So let's say I wanted to do analysis on the 15-minute chart. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the 15-minute up here. And let's say I want to draw a trend line or support and resistance. Let me see. I'm trying to find a good example. Okay. So this is probably not a good example of a good trend line, but let's say if I wanted to use the top of this candlestick and the top of this candlestick, or the top of these wicks, shall I call them. What you want to do is click on this button to draw a trend line, and it will say that. It'll say, if you hover over that, it'll say draw trend line. You'll go ahead and hover over the point where you want to start, click and hold until you get to the point where you want to finish. And let's say you wanted to use that trend line for these 2 points. So let's say if the price was currently here and you wanted to wait till the price broke out, this would be your entry point, and you would set your stop loss right about here and your take profit wherever you would like to have that set. So that's how you draw a trend line. To get rid of the trend line, you can right click and go to objects list, and here it'll show you trend line and it'll have a number. You can actually click the check mark to delete it. Here you have the Fibonacci and channel option. Here's the crosshairs, and like the Fibonacci and the channel options are a little bit more advanced, so I'm not going to explain that. But the crosshairs, if you want to go ahead and use that, if you notice that each time I go to a different candlestick, if you look on the bottom right hand corner down here, it will have the open, high, low, and close. So if I wanted to hover over this one, at the bottom you see the open, which is 1.08802. The high is 1.08802. 1.8803, the low 1.08657, and the close at 1.08660. The V stands for volume. The V next to the close stands for volume. And to the far left, you'll see the date and the time of that candlestick. Some of these other buttons, the meta editor, some of these buttons I don't even use. Like these two I don't use. The auto trading is what you'll use when you have an expert advisor on your MT4 platform. So those are a little bit more advanced. I'm going to be explaining that in this video. I will make another video for that. And that is basically pretty much it. There are some other features and tools that you can use up here. But that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.